Madam President, thank you for speaking to us on the BBC. First question, a slightly personal one. What was it like when the Olympic torch came to Brasilia? It must have been a bittersweet moment for you.
A tocha, de uma certa forma, sintetiza
The torch is kind of a symbol of all the effort we've put into making the game safe and successful. And at the same time, it represents a bittersweet moment, because there's the threat that I won't be able to appear as president during the Olympic Games that I built. The sheer fear that I may not be there myself, but rather a person who usurps my job, is what creates a sense of sadness and injustice.
The likelihood is that the Senate next week will vote for an impeachment process. You will have to step aside. Do you intend to carry on? Do you have visions of returning to power in 6 months' time? Or do you think that the time for Dilma Rousseff as president of Brazil is finished?
Eu acho que nós iremos continuar lutando para voltar.
We will keep fighting to come back to government if the impeachment request is accepted. What we will do is to resist, resist, and resist, and fight to ensure that we will come out victorious.
O que nós defendemos, o meu governo e todos os meus
What we in the government believe, and what my supporters believe, is that the ongoing impeachment process is illegitimate and illegal, because it is ultimately based on a lie.
Numa farsa.
If we've learned anything in the last 6 months, it's of the rampant corruption in the political system, in the governing party and other parties. A lot of people agree with your defence that you didn't benefit personally from any corruption, but you were chairman of the board at Petrobras. Did you really not know what was going on in this huge corruption scandal?
Eu não concordo que o Brasil.
I do not agree that Brazil is any different vis-à-vis other countries with regard to the existence of corruption. It is inherent and intrinsic to corruption processes to conceal themselves under seemingly correct structures and practices. Corruption processes are by definition hidden, and these practices have to be, of course, looked into and investigated.
Elas têm de ser investigadas.
There are people in Brazil now, a minority of people, who are talking in favour of a return to a military government, a dictatorship. Isn't it time now for you to perhaps remind them, tell them why, in your view, that will be such a bad idea?
Eu, pessoalmente, fiquei presa 3 anos.
I was personally in prison. I was incarcerated for 3 years myself. And there was this kind of ritual in that you first would be arrested, and then, in detention, you would be kept out of touch with the rest of the world, no connections whatsoever. You would be subject to torture, and for as long as they thought that they still needed you for information, they would keep on torturing you.
Eles mantinham a sua tortura.
Many people died.
Muitas pessoas morreram.
You do not have to go through all of the horror we went through, all of the tragedy we experienced, to learn that democracy is the right side of history.
É o lado certo da história.